I'm sitting in a tiny Paw Patrol chair so I can be at the TV. But so all numbers are real numbers. There's two types of numbers. Okay, we talked about a coin. It's either heads or tails. You either have money or you have no money. So within any number in the entire world, real numbers, there are two types, rational and irrational. Okay, rational is something that some of you guys are getting screwed up. So rational is something that has a terminating decimal. For example, if you go to the store and you buy a bag of chips for $1.99, $1.99, that is a terminating decimal. The decimal terminates. It doesn't keep going. Okay, so any type of price, as long as it's not a whole number price, like $2 or $60,000, there's no decimal because the change is 00. Okay, but if there's some type of change, $1.75, $1.99, that's a rational number because of the price. Okay, if it's a fraction, that's also a rational number. If it's a repeating decimal, for example, like 1/3 is 0.333333, and it keeps going on forever and ever, then that is where that's still also a real number, or a rational number, okay? Some of the examples from yesterday, you guys really need to think about, like, could I ever have 0? If the answer is no, you could never have 0 bounces, okay, then it has to be a natural number, okay? But if you could have zeros, for example, your phone number the last 4 digits of your phone number could be 000. Okay, it's not very common, but it could be. Okay, so that would be a whole number. Could it also be a natural number? Yes, but you want to pick the best fit. Okay, so some of your guys' I marked on from yesterday. Okay, so we're just going to go through some of these. So 1/8, is that a rational, irrational, whole, or natural? So just go through the list. You know that it has to be rational or irrational, so start there. Okay, in this case, it's a rational. And then start running through the list. Does it fall under anything else? Is a fraction ever going to be an integer? No. Is it ever going to be a whole number? No. Is it ever going to be a natural number? No. So rational is going to be your only answer choice for that. Okay? -10. So, is it going to be rational or irrational? In this case, it doesn't have a weird decimal that keeps changing, so it's definitely going to be rational. And then we got to start checking. And somewhere I have that. Piece of paper. I don't know what I did with it, to be honest. I don't know where it's at. I was looking at the sheet. Okay, so if we look at -10, we know for sure it's going to be rational. I always start on the inside. So, does -10 ever fall from 1 all the way to 1,000,000 or above? No, because negative's way back here on the number line. Okay, could it be 0 or above? No, because it's way back here on the number line. Could it be an integer? Yeah, because the number line keeps going way back. So, it's also going to be an integer. Okay? +6. Okay? Is it going to be rational or irrational? We know it's going to be rational. Okay? And then start from the inside and work your way out. As soon as you get an answer yes, then that makes all the other ones above. So, +6, that's a yes. So that should make this one a yes. Well, we can see that 6 is on here. Okay? And so all of these are going to be a yes. So it is a natural. It is a whole number. It is an integer. And it is a rational. Okay, the square root of 4. What type of number is a square root of 4? Is it going to be rational or irrational?
Irrational.
Okay, so some of you guys are going to see the square root, and you're automatically going to think irrational. But we know if you typed in square root of 4 on your calculator, the answer is really 2. So the square root of 4 actually can be rewritten, it equals 2. Okay, so we know we can go back through and see, well, where does positive 2 fall? Well, yes, it's a natural number, and since this is yes, that makes all these other ones yes. Okay, so it's going to be a natural, a whole, an integer, and all those. And I'm going to shorthand, so I'm going to say a natural, a whole, an integer, and it's also irrational. Okay, which you guys can totally do that. You don't have to spell them all out. But if you do write irrational, write IR. Okay, so that way I know. The last one I'm going to do is number 9. So it says 8.333333 repeating. So where does a repeating decimal fall?
Irrational.
So irrational is when the decimal is going to keep changing. So it would be like 0.26495. When it's the same and it's a repeating, it's going to be rational. But it's not going to fall under any of these other ones. So, and this is what that repeating bar means. So a repeating decimal is going to be a rational number. Okay, so that one's only going to be rational. Okay.
Mommy,
What, babe?
is it lunchtime now?
Not yet, in a little bit. I'm almost done. Okay, write an example from daily life that uses each type of real number. I want you guys to do all those. Try to think of something that you didn't do yesterday. Okay? So, but if you need some help, look at what you did yesterday, and that will give you kind of an idea of what you did yesterday. Sorry, I got a kid, so she feels the need to, you know. So, classify each variable according to the number, the set of numbers that best describe. So we're only going to pick one, and it's going to be the one that describes it the best. So some of these you really you got to think about, okay? So, the amount of change that you have in your pocket. Okay, so we know that change is a decimal. Okay, you could have... And we don't say it like this. You usually say 50 cents, but it's really 0.50, okay? Or if you have 35 cents, it's really 0.35. So the amount of change you have in your pocket is going to be a decimal. The trick is which kind of decimal. Is it going to repeat? Is it going to cut off? Or is it going to be, can you have like 0.92654 of change? So which type of number is that going to fall under?
Rational.
It's going to be rational, okay? So change is always going to be rational. So on here, we're just going to say rational, because that one describes it the best. Okay, the amount you lost in 8-ball. So, we lose money, so is that a positive or negative?
Negative.
It's going to be a negative. And where do negative numbers fall?
Integers.
Integers. And in all honesty, nobody bets like 5.25 in 8-ball, right? You always bet like a whole $5. So it's going to be a whole number, and it's going to be an integer, okay? So we're going to write I for integers. We'll do 2 more. $1.75 from a vending machine. So where does price usually fall?
Rational.
Rational. Okay? The change, if you're talking about change, it's going to be rational. The number of shoes you own, okay? Unless you're homeless, you don't own 0 pair of shoes. So keep that in mind, and you usually have a positive pair of shoes. So write whatever answer is going to best fit. The weight on a scale. Okay, so the weight on a scale, most people, it's going to be to one digit. So it's going to be like 52.4 pounds or 50.5 pounds. Okay, it's just going to have one decimal. So where is that going to fall?
Rational?
Yeah, it's going to be rational. Okay, and then your rent amount. So rents range. Most people's rent, if you live in Fort Wayne, it's probably somewhere around $500. Okay, so you keep that in mind when you answer that question. And that's all we got today. So do the ones that I didn't do and submit it. If you guys need help, I'm always here. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So,
Okay.
get off the TV.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. Go in there. It's not funny.